this short description. Active voice, meaning the subject is doing the action, meaning having an active subject. Passive voice means that the subject is receiving the action, which means having a passive subject. So to figure out whether a sentence is an active or passive voice, look at the subject. So the question you would ask is the subject performing the action, which means active, or receiving the action, meaning passive? So let's have an example. So in this sentence, the boy plays the piano. So in this sentence, the subject is the boy, the verb is plays, and the boy is doing the action. The boy is the one who is doing the action, playing the piano. Therefore, the boy is active subject, right? Because the boy is the active subject, then this sentence is written in the active voice. Now let's have an example of the passive voice. So in this sentence, the piano is played by the girl. Then the piano is played by the girl. The subject in the sentence is piano. The verb is played. Therefore, the piano is receiving or not is playing. Therefore, the piano is the passive subject. So because the piano is the passive subject, then the sentence is written in passive voice. So now we know the difference between the active and passive voice. Now, why do we care? Why should we use the active voice instead? So active voice is more concise, it's easier to understand, and it is less work for your reader. So again, it's better to use active voice because it's more concise, it's easier to understand, and it is less work for your reader. So here are some tips to help you rewrite passive voice into an active voice. Let's have an example sentence. The thunder is heard by Kira. The thunder is heard by Kira. This is a passive voice, a passive subject. So first thing we need to do is we need to identify the verb. The verb is heard. Verb is heard. So the second thing is ask yourself who or what is doing the verb's action. So in this sentence, Kira is the one who hears. So if we rearrange the sentence order, we can rearrange the thunder is heard by Kira into Kira heard the thunder. Okay? So, but remember, we need to keep the verb tense the same. For example, in this sentence, the pizza will be eaten by Mary. Will be eaten is future tense. So if we rearrange the order, we can rearrange it as Mary will eat the pizza. So you can see will eat is also future tense. Remember, keep the verb tense the same. So recap, why we need to use the active voice instead of the passive voice, because active voice is more concise, it is easier to understand, and it is less work for the reader. And remember, active subject is doing, the one doing the verb's action. That is the active subject. Alright, so that is all for our grammar session. I hope you learned something new in that session. So now I'll proceed to our word of the day. Our word of the day is virtuoso. It's a virtuoso, meaning one who excels in the technique on art, especially a highly skilled musical performance. Again, a noun, virtuoso. For example, Vincent van Gogh is a celebrated art virtuoso. So please incorporate our word of the day, virtuoso, in your speeches and evaluation. And as for the Marian, I'll be taking note of how many times we use our word of the day. So again, my name is Josh. I'll be your grammarian for today. I'll give back the floor to our Toastmaster of the day, PM Jasmine. Back.
Thank you so much. Today we are using active, that holds true. The reason why we use active voice. Also when it comes to events and occasions, UTM total querido.
Have you tried to look back at the last few days, the last week, the last 2 weeks, or the last month of your life? What have you noticed? What have you seen? What did you feel? Tell us those numbers. This project requires me to look back at least at this previous 14 days of my life. Possibly starting on the 30th of May up to the present. Guess what? I noticed that the last few events, even under the pandemic, has been special, has been full of action. Chasing cars, driving and pushing through even through the rain. And so when I reflected, I sat back, looked at the very big calendar in our office, to which I hadn't taken the photo and shared with you. I saw that there has been good and not so good results. You see, in the world of events, sometimes even during holidays, just like yesterday, you have to be there. On a Sunday, even if you're taking a rest, as head of events, you must communicate with your people to ensure that they will be ready for an early get-together on a Monday. And they are ready for their project on Saturday. They, on a Thursday, before the Saturday, I want to inform you we're going to have an Independence Day celebration. Even if you were not ready, you have to go on the program, text everyone where your Philippine Nana. And it was a rainy weekend, supposed to be a rainy weekend. Yesterday, I hosted 2 Independence Day celebrations. Was afraid that it might rain, but we put through under the scorching heat of the sun. And just today, just before I logged in, at a small program, 1,000 people in the community site. Fellow Toastmasters, as our coach would say, you need to be a virtuoso in dealing with events. But I say, in dealing with events, you need to be a virtuoso in dealing with your emotions. Sometimes you will be surprised at the humongous responsibility that you take. Sometimes you will be surprised that you already much prepared, but it will be tough. And sometimes you will see that in some events, political agenda comes first before the real willingness to help. But I have to set that aside. I saw the last 2 weeks that Thanksgiving must come soon. Hey, I must be thankful that I have a staff. I am the boss, and I get to decide how to execute it. But I also have the responsibility and the duty to follow orders. Balance. Sometimes work comes in the way of those masters. Hey, but work provides me with strong signal to connect with this day because I'm in my office. So fellow Toastmasters and dear friends, just focus on the positive. Be thankful. There is always good news. I encourage you to do the same. Take a good look at the recent 2 weeks of your life and you will see that there is more positive than negative. Just have open your eyes and see the goodness that comes your way. Let us all be grateful, thankful, to be fruitful. Back to you, Mother Toastmaster.
Virtuoso when it comes to structuring sentences with irony, because his say so. Negativity in positivity, positivity in negativity. Our very own Mr. Positivity, PM Ramel Alvarez.
Sit on the other side, talking to me too all night. Sitting up, talking to me. I know you're out there somewhere, somewhere far away. Ladies and gentlemen, can we imagine what Vincent Van Gogh was imagining while he was saying, talking to the moon, looking at the moon? It is full of mystery, full of art that makes such an amazing creativity. But today I want to discuss something about the negativity, the positivity, and the positivity in negativity. We must all have been familiar with the yin yang, but now I want to take a different approach to it. I am about to show you a painting which I treasure most, which is in my room every time, and which reminds me of Vincent Gogh's painting. And this is it. My favorite piece. It is drawn by my tita, whose course is painting. And as you can see, there is a lightning, some street lamps, a tree, a person. It is just like Vincent Gogh's painting, the popular Starry Night, but instead, it is tragic. It is more than just a simple moon. It is the sky, but it's angry. The fact that this represents the same sky, but it shows anger, shows the capacity in us that even in the most negative things that is happening, such as this pandemic, for instance, we can still see light through it. And that light, for me, as I want to see it, is you guys. The fact that we are still in touch with each other, sharing feelings, and even giving us details about ourselves, new learnings. The fact that that hadn't stopped and the connection still is connecting within us is the positivity, the small positivity that I see, which could be greater things than it is right now. And one more negativity that has happened to me is what my Lola has suffered. It is the fact that we don't give up on these events which makes us stronger. Now let's get to the meat of the subject, the very purpose of my speech. Why am I engaging to you to see positivity even in the most negative things?
It is because I want you to maintain the recovery, the positivity in you, in order for you to grab that positivity so strong even in your negative state. And the secret is only one being, one entity that could make any of us strong, that creates these thunders, that creates those moon that shines in every way. Ladies and gentlemen, the only person my go-to being is God. I want each and any one of us that whenever we encounter problem, no matter how hard it is, no matter how struck it is with us, just like this lightning, we must still stay strong and know that it is potentially a blessing in disguise given by God to us. A way, an example of how I see it is this is a factor that will make you stronger throughout the following days that should follow. This event, when I had to go to an hospital full of COVID patients, it is to make me stronger. It is for me to eat more vegetables in order for me to grab that enough strength, that enough nutrients for me to survive all those days that I was in hospital. And look what we had. Instead of a 1 month stay in the hospital, which is unsure if we're going to survive, we made it in 12 days. All of those nights eating proper foods and of course, praying. I know that you also have been encountering, each and every one of you, are encountering problems, negativities. Even how positive your smiles are today, they're negativities. There have been lightnings that have struck within your life. But I just want to remind you, and I know that we incorporate this so well. I just like this. Who do you go? This reminder of a question. Whenever you are in a deep problem, whenever you are in a state of negativity, who do you visit? Who do you tell your problems? Because that is important. That is what's going to turn all those negativities into positive. And that is a question that I would do.
Thank you so much, PM Ramnel. So we could literally see, we could physically see the effects of your healthy living, eating vegetable, because from the picture I have shown on my slide, it's a different contour of your cheekbone now. Okay, so moving on. Okay, the title of the objective is written on the slide itself, and the title of this speech is MJ mentality. I think because T.M. Russell is a virtuoso when it comes to basketball, he is pertaining to Michael Jordan mentality, right? So let us all welcome P.M. Russell Reyes.
Hello, Toastmasters. Let me first share my screen. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I think you're wondering who's the MJ in the title of my speech. MJ mentality. Yes, MJ or AKA Michael Jordan, or sometimes what people used to call the GOAT. Let me first tell you, Toastmasters, the meaning of GOAT. Do you see my screen, Toastmaster?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Greatest of all time. That's 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 one high feat a person can achieve in his life. Isn't that hard to achieve, my fellow Toastmasters? And what I'm about to share to you is the mentality of MJ on how he became the GOAT in the sport. Of course, MJ is a talented player. That's given. And he is even a hard working, even though he already have the talents, he work hard. As like he was still a beginner or a rookie. He always practiced the basic fundamentals of the sport, and he always listened to the coaches and the advices. But one thing that I admire on his talent is he he's a good player by himself, and he definitely knows that. But he needed his teammates to bring victories such as championships in their teams, so that he literally pushed them hard to become in a level that can match up to him. He want that because, as he said, if you can't handle the pressure on me, on the trainings or the practice, you might not be ready to face the real deal when it comes to real game situations. And the one thing that his teammate said that made me believe that he was the GOAT is when MJ tells you or teaches you on that certain thing, he probably knows that or does that before he teaches that to me. He's not a boss type of a captain. He's a true leader for me. Me, personally, I want to apply what kind of mentality MJ had in his mind. I want to copy that type of mentality because in any field that you want to go in this life, this thing might help a lot if we have the same mentality we have. I know we cannot achieve something we want, and this type of MJ's mindset makes the drive in on fire to get going, even if I feel lazy or I'm tired or my body aches. I just want I just watch some clips or episodes of this movie titled The Last Dance on Netflix, if you know that, my fellow Toastmasters. I just watch that if I don't feel motivated.
Mag-subscribe, ring the bell, mag-like, comment, at i-share mo na.
This training. And thank you so much to all the core leader of the NEW and Dream Warriors for attending this event. And of course, I would like to thank one of our business partner from Naik, City Councilor Honorable Pastor Maximo Dagasdas. And of course, thank you so much to one of our senior business partner, our spiritual advisor and prayer warrior, Sir Rupino Pokpo. Bago po na ako Hello Toastmaster, I show you my video because I want to share you my feelings of what I did yesterday
one of my dream is to become a very good speaker and one of motivational speaker that that can change the life of the person that may heard my speech. And I always grateful that I'm here in DCTMC in that helping me to grow and develop my speaking skills. At first, when our mentor and owner of NEW assigned me to be one of the speaker, I think that I can't do it, but because I'm here in Toastmaster, I know that I can handle it and I can give my best for that training and the continuous attending our DCTMC meeting. It's give me a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, and it uplift my moral to do this training. And I thank every one of you that helping me to grow in this kind of career. This is the event yesterday that I conquer again my fear because of my personal training and actual training here in Dasmariñas City Toastmaster Club. And because there are so many virtuoso and in regards with the speaking skills, I am also part of this, and I feel that I am also virtuoso of that career. But the person with me is one of the city councilor of Nai Cavite who supported me and attending my training yesterday, and the one who were left, who were yellow, is Office of the President and Religious Affairs Director to Vindo Tukmo. They are my friend, pushing me to do this training and lift up my what my confidence, and they said that I can do it, and in fact they supported me and attending my training. And the one on red is our mentor in EW who gave me this opportunity to be one of the speaker of this company, and I thank them that I overcome that fear yesterday. And I think that this is just the start of my career as speaker and trainer. And again, I am always grateful to our organization that helps me to be a very good speaker and developing my skills to see myself the best version of myself here in Toastmaster Club. And this quote give me a lot of encouragement that what Leslie said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I encourage you all, fellow Toastmaster and our guests, if you have dream in mind, do it for yourself. And let us picture out what kind of dreams we have in life, and let's do it together here in Dasmariñas City Toastmaster Club. Thank you very much. I will back the control to our Toastmaster Club.
Thank you so much, TM Jerry Bustamante, for sharing us your journey on your way or your goal to be an effective communicator. Moving on, I will just have to share my screen.
Yes, I would like to propose a toast to all the members of the Dasmariñas City Toastmasters Club for such a remarkable achievement. Number 3 club in the whole world in terms of awards garnered as of June 6, 2021. This is no ordinary feat, considering that in March 2021, we were number 13 in ranking. To get to this level of number 3 is no accident. It is the product of a concerted effort involving each and every member of this club. Each one of you contributed by delivering your speeches without delay. Kudos also to all the current officers of this club who lead by example, by volunteering meetings, roles, and delivering your speeches as well. In a short span of time, our hard work paid off. We became number 7 in May of 2021 and number 5 in June 1, 2021. And with the launching of the Speechcraft and Speech Marathon, and with the dedication of all the stakeholders, we are now number 2. We are a striking distance away to be the number 1 club in the whole world, which I believe will happen before the end of this month. For so long as we continue with our zeal and dedication to deliver those speeches. Today, we celebrate our victory and our resiliency. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, therefore, join me in this toast by raising your glass and say, cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
Brother.
Cheers!
Cheers! And back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you for being so sport. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Rolly Campos. Hi, Attorney Rica, are you online now? Because Attorney Rica just opened our Zoom account, and I think
your physical way of delivering your thoughts and idea, your voice, speech development, effectiveness, appropriateness, correctness, that will be 70% on content. Okay, what are the type of questions? There are 2 things that you need to remember always. Basic questions or job-related interview questions, and also there are behavioral and personality questions. Here are the strategy, how to answer it. It can be an open question. Why, what, who, where, when, which, how. So you have to make sure that when you engage yourself in table topics, you have your database with you. Your database is your knowledge about topics, informations that you have read, that you have watched, and then make a point. It can also be a closed question. Is it a yes or a no, an A versus B? Review the both options, then find a way to connect them both. Benefit, increase depth of the answer. And then number 2, avoid the judge preferences. And then of course the other strategy is spin the question. Make it work in your favor or to avoid conflict. If you don't want to answer it, then spin it. humor and creativity come a long way. And there's a lot of table topics champions that are very good in spinning the question. Here are the strategy. Structure 1, prep, point, reason, example, point. So here's structure 1. We have structure number 2, introduction, why you agree, why you not agree, and of course your conclusion. Structure number 3, intro, why this, why that, and then you conclude with a big bang. Content strategy, 3 layers. You can have structure number 1. You introduce, and then there should be a body, and then a conclusion. Structure number 2, which is a very good option also. Intro, why you believe in, and then try to relate and get it from your database of information from your mind and previous experiences. Set example 1, example 2, example 3, then conclude it. Structure 3, it can be your intro, from where you came from, past, your current, present, future, and then conclude it. Okay, why should everyone have ambition? Here's a classic example and a classic answer. Without life without ambition is like a vehicle without the fuel and direction. It doesn't know where to go or have the strength to move forward. With ambition gives people the sense of purpose. Concluding it, that's why everyone should have ambition, because whether you have it or not, it's very important for you to be guided. Okay, those are the example questions. And then, of course, always remember, practice makes not perfect, and practice makes permanent. Okay, are you ready to rumble? Okay, let me go back to the screen because I cannot see all of you when I open my PowerPoint presentation. So let me see it. Okay. Want you to smile? Smile, everyone. Okay, let's start. So my references, of course, inspired by the Researchers and Feedback Project. Of course, this is art. So therefore, yesterday we just had our Philippine Independence Day celebration. I will be featuring paintings from neoclassical period and romantic period in Philippine history. Okay, let's start. Okay, neoclassicism and romanticism. Neo means new, new classic. Okay, let's start. Okay, so the inspiration of neoclassicism and romanticism in the Philippines, as we're talking about painting, is from David Ingres, Guerrico, Delacroix, and of course Goya. When I went to Spain back in 2011, Goya's painting was really amazing. And it's about, the neoclassical art. And there's a lot of Filipino artists inspired by Goya. So let's start. Let's start first. I will be presenting to you the question, and then of course the different neoclassicism and romanticism in the Philippines from painting, sculpture, and architecture. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready to rumble? Okay. Let's start. So this painting, of course you're familiar with this. You love this. I know. This is, of course, Polarium by Juan Novicio Luna. Okay, the question is, okay, I will give the question and then all of you can volunteer because I want you to process the question, and if you feel that you want to answer it, just raise your hand. So the question that I have is, imagine you are Juan Luna and still alive today. What will you say to the Filipino people? Imagine you are Juan Luna and still alive today. What will you say to the Filipino people? Let me start with those who doesn't have any speaking engagement. I think this will be very easy. Let me call on our comebacking Toastmaster. Toastmaster Efren. Toastmaster Efren, are you there? Toastmaster Efren. Or probably Toastmaster Efren? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Much as I wanted to participate, I really can't because of my voice.
Okay. Thank you. It's okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Efren. Okay, so let me hear some volunteers. Oh, Toastmaster Josh, you're raising your hand. Thank you so much. One of our table topics champion, Toastmaster Josh Arjomarian, wants to answer this question. Imagine you are Juan Luna and still alive today. What will you say to the Filipino people? Please welcome one of our club champions in table topics, Toastmaster Josh Grifo. Take it away.
Imagine I am Juan Luna, and what will you say to the Filipino people? Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, what do you feel when you see this painting of Juan Luna? Do you see suffering? Do you see hatred? Do you see slavery? For me, yes, that's what I see. If I will be Juan Luna, I will say to the Filipino people that we need to be united. United so we can fight slavery, we can fight hatred, so we can emerge from this suffering. Throughout this COVID pandemic that we have, we experienced this kind of suffering, not from Spanish colonization, but from the COVID pandemic itself. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, it is not very different from the past, where we need to be united against one enemy, and that is the virus or the pandemic. So, if I am Juan Luna, I would say again to the Filipino people that we need to be united. We need to be as one, so we can fight this hatred, this suffering, so we can emerge victorious from this COVID pandemic. Back to you, DTM Rock.
Amazing! That's Toastmaster Josh. Amazing. Now, let's go to the second painting. Okay. Okay, next painting. Okay, this one is... Okay, the title of this painting is The Christian Virgins Being Exposed to the Populace by Felix Resurrection Hidalgo. Look at the painting. Like what I said during my speech, what is the mood of the painting? Relate it with you. Okay. Now, the question is, how would you inspire the young Filipina of today to make a difference in the future? How would you inspire the young Filipina of today to make a difference in the picture? Okay, any volunteer? Wow, I'm seeing a volunteer. Wow, who will be the volunteer? Okay. Our guest can answer the question also. Just let me know if you're ready. I think TM Rolly already withheld the mute function, and TM Rolly is ready to answer. TM Rolly? Or I think Toastmaster Stephen. Toastmaster Stephen raised his hand. Okay, okay, go ahead, Toastmaster Stephen. How would you inspire the young Filipino of today to make a difference in the future? Take it away, Toastmaster Stephen.
In 2016, at my arrival in the Philippines, I love Filipinos. Why? Number one is because their patience attitude. But there is one that I discouraged them to say, or I got discouraged when I heard them say that. But after some background check and research, I found out that sometimes they don't mean it. Sometimes it is hereditary as a result of their past and ancient forefathers. Looking at the pictures, there is this word most Filipinos always use: I am poor. I am poor. So I will inspire each and every Filipino in this meeting. Go out there and shun everyone that said to you, I am poor. It is a negative attribute to life. It is not worth saying. For example, when you meet someone in those days, when you try to exchange pleasantry, the first impression is I am poor. So I always encourage people that I meet or that I met, my fellow Filipinos. I am a black Filipino. So always desist from using that word. By using avoiding the negative words, I think we will make a brighter future and we will make a very big difference of changing the mindset of the international body or the foreigners that Filipinos are poor. So when we say present ourselves to people that we are poor, it becomes that yes, we are poor. We don't attribute to ourselves what we think that we are. We don't call ourselves what we think that we are. So that is my encouragement and the way of inspiring each and every one of us here to go out there and educate people to desist from using that negative attribute. So back to you, the wisdom.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stephen. Amazing. From Nigeria, married to a Filipina. That was so empowering. Okay. So let me, okay. Let's move on. Now let's go to sculpture. So from painting, let's now go to neoclassicism and romanticism in the Philippines. And let's go to sculpture. This one, everyone is familiar with this. This is by Guillermo Tolentino, and this is the oblation. Okay, so the question is, are you ready? How will you define freedom during the COVID-19 crisis? How will you define freedom during the COVID-19 crisis? Any volunteer? Raise a hand.
Go Kay.
Okay. Go Kay. Go Kay. Go Kay. How will you define freedom during the COVID-19 crisis?
Okay. Okay. Let me try this. Good afternoon to everyone, and my name is Kay. So right now, I'm going to share my thoughts about how are we going to define freedom during the COVID-19 crisis. So actually, during this period, everyone is stuck at home, so we actually don't have any freedom to go out. But then what we can do as an individual is to have the freedom of speech, to tell ourselves what we can do and to help other people. For an example, me as a mother, what I can do is I can be a responsible mom to my child, to not let him go outside and play because the virus is very dangerous to our society, to everyone else. So my freedom here is to be a responsible mom. I have the freedom to not allow my son to go outside. Another one, I am a daughter. My freedom here to be a daughter is to not allow my parents to go outside, to give them the authority that you just need to go outside if it's very important. Also, I am a wife. So my freedom here is to give authority also to my husband for him to take care and be responsible for his actions, especially especially in going outside and meeting people. So right now, how am I going to define freedom is everybody else should have the freedom to express themselves and help other people, especially their loved ones, on what is their own responsibility on how to fight the freedom of the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. That was amazing. Toastmaster K, soon to be Toastmaster K. Thank you for your feedback and your answer. That was amazing. The three-tier category. 1, 2, 3. As a mom, as a daughter, and as a wife, as a mother. So that was amazing. Okay, so let me just move on. This is by Guillermo Tolentino. Another work of art. This one. You're familiar with this. You're seeing this at the end of the light railway station in Caloocan. And in fact, I think the Miss Caloocan used this as a national costume. Pambansang Bantayog ni Andres Bonifacio by Guillermo Tolentino. So the question that I have for you is this one. Is the Filipino still worth fighting for? Is the Filipino still worth fighting for? Why or why not? Who wants to answer? Of course, let us hear it from the Club Table Topics champion, distinguished Toastmaster Toto Perido. Is the Filipino still worth fighting for? Why or why not? Take it away, DTM Toto.
Aling pag-ibig pa ang hihigit kaya sa pagkadalisay at pagkadakila gaya ng pag-ibig sa tinubuang lupa. Aling pag-ibig pa wala na nga wala. In the last 1.5 years, we've seen faults, we've seen carelessness, we've seen people taking the COVID-19 pandemic and using it for their personal gain. However, fellow Toastmaster, dear friends and fellow Filipinos, during this rise of the pandemic, we have also seen the rise of the new breed of heroes. Our doctors, nurses, health workers, food servers, delivery boys, janitors, and those tasked to maintain our hospitals and everything that's being used to care for our patients. We have also seen the greatness of the patients, those who are inflicted with COVID-19. They want to continue fighting. They want to continue living for their families. In this great struggle of the pandemic, we have seen even more the greatness of the Filipino. Sure, there are a few rotten tomatoes, but we still have bagfuls and basketfuls of great tomatoes where we can choose from and make great tomato sauce. So, fellow Toastmasters, if you want to ask me if are still Filipinos worth fighting for, if we still have that unity and that fighting spirit and that love of country, I dare say yes. The Filipino is worth fighting for. The Filipino is worth living for. The Filipino is worth loving. And I encourage you, fellow Toastmasters and friends, fellow Filipinos, we in our own small ways can make a difference. We in our own small ways can make our country great again. We in our own small ways can be the best Filipino that is worth fighting for. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, DTM Toto, from a champion. Indeed, the Filipino is still worth fighting for, according to our table topic speaker. And now for who wants to volunteer, this will be my last slide. Okay. Any volunteer? So here, so let me just, our next sculpture. This one. I think you're familiar with this. Or if you're not familiar with this is Siyam na Diwata ng Sining by Napoleon Abueva. Okay. So the question is, if you are going to make your own work of art, what will it be? If you are going to make your own work of art, what will it be? Okay, who would like to volunteer? If none, then of course, let's give an opportunity for our table topics evaluator to also